nails. Girl, I got them done over at Westro's, but I ain't never going back over there no more.
Welcome to Big Mama's. Can I take your orders, please?
I think I'll take an order of the chicken wings and the Zulu punch.
Chicken wings, Zulu punch, and you?
Big feet.
Mm-hmm.
I can sell food.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have whatever she has.
Okay, chicken wings, Zulu punch.
I think I'll take a piece of cornbread too.
Cornbread's the
Me
bomb.
too.
Okay, cornbread.
Look at my nails. How effective they are. I'll try to put this purple polish on to cover up the fungus.
Wait a minute, let me see that. Girl, you have to have gone to the Westro's. That's why I ain't got no nails today. I'll never go back there again. I know
That's right.
Well, hello, Reverend Cleo, Deacon. How y'all doing today?
Doing mighty fine, sister, doing mighty fine.
Good, good.
Reverend Cleo, I heard your wife was one of the finalists in that sweet potato pie contest that Deep Roots Desserts put in on. Congratulations.
Thank you. Without a doubt, she knows she does Louisiana proud. Woman knows she could make a mean sweet potato pie. That's how she hooked me, you know.
Oh.
I had one slice of her pie. Next thing I know, we were standing at the altar saying I do.
No, that's right.
Well, I'm the lucky one. I get to be one of the judges for the final taste. I can't wait. Lucky you. You got that right. I hear there's some good tasting pies in that contest.
Gentlemen, just go ahead and have a seat over here and I will get your order.
Sweet potato pie? That's like pumpkin pie, right?
Girl, I know you just didn't say that. Now, sweet potato pie got more soul than pumpkin.
Ain't no comparison.
That's mighty right. You know, I consider it to be the sacred dessert of our culture.
It's sacred, all right, because everybody thinks they mama make the best sweet potato pie.
That's right.
I believe I feel a sermon coming on.
Come on now. Come on, Reverend.
I said I believe I feel a sermon coming on. And it's all about that secret. I said that secret. Sweet potato pie.
Yes, hold on, Reverend Cleo. Let me take your order before you go off into a sermon and everything.
You never know what you'll see up in here.
Ooh, girl, don't look now, but two Denzel Washington wannabes just strode up here. I tell you, some people.
My sisters, what's going on? Y'all live over north?
Well, I live in Southwest.
Southwest? Girl, that's where the rich white folks live. What you doing up in here? I'm just playing. My name is Nate, and this is my main man, Swipe.
Can you talk?
Sure, he can talk. He's just intellectual. Kind of brother a few words. So, you ladies going to the Juneteenth Festival Sunday over in Miller Park?
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm just trying to help you out.
Why don't we just hang out with y'all over there then?
We got plans, don't we, Brenda?
What plans? What plan? I don't even know what Juneteenth is.
Juneteenth. Never mind, Brenda. Now, if you don't mind, we were just about to eat our food.
Good idea. Excuse me, waitress. I would like some chicken wings.
Chicken wings,
Sweet potatoes.
sweet potatoes,
Yams.
yams,
Lamb.
lamb. Oh, and you want the same thing? Okay. Emancipation Proclamation? Well, ain't no emancipating happening over here. If I'm on my feet all day serving up chicken wings. This thing get tired sometimes.
I don't believe this.
I do.
Professor Makata. Here. What's up, Prof? You can sit here if you like.
Yes, I will join. Thank you.
Cool. You gotta try some of these wings, Prof. They be smoking.
Prof, be smoking. I need to check and see if that's in this new book I just got written by
Mahmoud El-Kati. You know about the Hiptionary? We just attended his book signing last week. Too cool, ain't it, man?
Oh, yes. That book is all about the words, right? And the culture, and the movement, and the
Did somebody
movement.
say movement?
Wow, you are right. You never know what's going to happen up in here.
So, Prof, about them chicken wings.
Prof,
Oh, I'm sorry, Prof. This is Brenda, and that's Katisha. I think she's having a bad nail day.
It is a pleasure to meet you both.
Hi.
hello, and just what do you teach? Professor Mankata.
African Studies and International Trade.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, Professor Mankata is from Africa. Ghana, West Africa.
No.
Really? How about a chicken wing, Professor?
Perhaps a small piece. Thank you.
So, what you think about President Clinton's trip to Africa?
What?
President Clinton's trip to the motherland. Thought it was pretty cool myself. I mean, a 6-nation tour to places like Senegal, Ghana, South Africa. Man, I thought it was the bomb!
Oh, I remember that trip. It was pretty cool, huh? Hanging out with the President Nelson Mandela. I was really impressed with President Clinton got all decked out in traditional African wear. I thought it was really cool.
You know what they say, Deacon.
No, what they say, Red?
They say President Clinton is as close as we ever gonna get to a black president. That's what they keep saying.
I know that's right. And let me add, when a black man does become president, you know pigs is gonna be flying.
They are so old. Ain't they heard about swine flu?
I don't care what they say. I think we will have a black president one day.
I think you're right. You know, I could really hang with that whole apology for slavery thing. I mean, America's long overdue for the debt they owe black folks. Got that?
That's interesting.
No, that's a fact. I mean, but me and Swipe could really relate from our slave castle visits over in Ghana.
You guys were actually in Africa?
Oh, yeah. You ever been to Africa?
No, I went to Paris last spring with my parents. Africa and France.
I don't think so, but I could just go on and on about Africa.
Yeah, just bet you could.
Excuse me?
I said this chicken show is good.
I'm going to hear about your trip.
So, it really made me think a lot about our ancestors, how they were captured in Africa and brought over here to work as slaves. I mean, that's why we're so interested about this Juneteenth play tonight. I mean, I think it'll really shed a lot of perspective on things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I believe I do.
I don't believe this.
So, Professor Mankata, how do you see the relationship between freedom of Africans to those in America?
Well, blow me over. He really can talk.
Well, independence for most African countries is more recent than you think. Ghana, for example, was one of the earliest countries to gain their independence from the British. And that was only in 1957. Actually, the struggles of black people in the United States and in Africa have been quite parallel.
But I've always thought of African people in Africa as being free.
Oh no. It was in the late 1800s that Somalia was invaded by the British. That was when slaves were being set free in the United States. But Somalia, they didn't gain their independence from the British until 1960. Senegal and Mali, they didn't gain their independence from the French until 1960 as well. And as you know, under Dutch and British invasions in South Africa, blacks were forbidden from owning land. And up until 1986, blacks were barred from moving from one district to another without a pass or permission paper in South Africa. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, American slavery perhaps.
As I stated before, there is much to be learned from this shared struggle of black people.
Wow, that's powerful.
The irony of it is because Africa is such a rich and powerful continent. It's all about the economics.
Unfortunately, the Europeans wanted the rights to the womb of Africa. They often raped her for her treasures, for their personal profits. Her gold, her diamonds.
Her oil, copper, cattle, animal skins.
Not to mention the physical labor of our African people. I mean, Europeans actually thought it was right for them to rule over Africans. Ain't that nothing?
Yes.
Well, that you will learn more about during second semester. But this play you speak of should shed an interesting perspective on the emancipation of Africans enslaved in the United States.
So, what is this play about exactly?
It's about Juneteenth. You do know what Juneteenth is, right, Katisha?
Yeah. It's time for black folks to hang out in the park and stuff.
Everybody thinks Juneteenth is just about eating barbecue all day and hanging out in the park, but it's more to it than that. Say that.
So, man, a few words. Why don't you just break it down to us then?
Well, back in 1863, when our boy Lincoln so-called freed the slaves, not everybody got word of their release from captivity. So some states were in rebellion against anti-slavery laws, and they chose not to comply. Texas being one of them. And they held slaves up to 2.5 years later.
Then what?
Then they kept selling and buying black folks like it wasn't nobody business. Till finally, in 1865, General Gordon Granger gallantly showed up and said, "Fun's over, y'all. Time to bust your own butts for a change and let these people go."
Really?
Really?
So, where's this play at exactly?
It's at the Rose. Y'all think about going?
Oh, yeah, I want to go.
I'd like to. Perhaps, and if so, we'll meet y'all there.
Cool. We're actually going with the group from Professor Mankata's class, so we'll get there early and we'll save you some seats. Won't we, man?
True that, true that.
He's rewound himself back to Marvel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this production of Kumbayah, the Juneteenth Story, a play written by Rose McGee and originally directed by James A. Williams, originally produced by Arts Us and the Twin Cities Juneteenth Committee. So as not to distract the actors during the performance, and as a form of courtesy to others sitting in the audience, we ask that you adhere to the following. Please remain seated throughout the entire performance. Small children are welcome, however, please remove them from the theater should they become too playful or begin to cry. Taking pictures, videotaping, or audiotaping is prohibited. Do not use laser pointers. If you have cell phones or pagers, turn them off now. Immediately following the play, please remain seated and partake in a short discussion regarding the performance of Kumbayah, the Juneteenth Story. Thank you, and please enjoy the presentation.
Well. Hear tell y'all came to hear more about Juneteenth. Is that right? Yes. I said, is that right? Yes. Well then, I, Frederick Douglass, was well known in my day for delivering eloquent speeches and stories such as this one. Now, this story, like all stories, has a beginning and a setting. Now, the setting could take place most anywhere in the South, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just talk about a small vicinity in Texas. Now, I grew up knowing a great deal about this so-called slavery thing. After all, I was born in around 1817. However, I could not tolerate it, so I escaped at the age of 20. Now, I never traveled much to Texas, but I certainly kept my attentions fixed on the conditions thereof. I was destined to inform the world of human suffrage, the beatings, the lynchings, the selling and separating children from their parents, husbands from their wives, being forbidden to read or write or even speak in their native African tongue. Now certainly, I can speak endlessly and compellingly about the horrors of captivity. But back to the story. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln put a mechanism in place to dissolve slavery in this country. That mechanism was called the Emancipation Proclamation. It was called the Emancipation Proclamation. Yes, thank you. That's right. The Emancipation Proclamation. He even conferred with me and a few others on the wording. I strongly oppose the wording, but that's another story. Of the 33 states, none of the slave states were willing to comply with the proclamation. 11 of them had already left the Union. Well, there was a place in Texas called Grimes. And in Grimes was a Turner plantation, which was a better place to live than most because old man Turner tried to treat his Negroes with some concern for their welfare. For one thing, he did not allow excessive brutality on his plantation. On the Turner plantation lived a young black man named Lewis. In some ways, Lewis reminded me of myself when I was his age. Ah, yes, he was a trumpet for freedom, all right. Indeed, he was. Many describe Lewis as being a protector for others. One day,
does the aliens know?
We sure don't. Ain't never heard tell of such a thing.
Nuh-uh. Got to be Baptist. You need the water, girl.
Well, Methodists did. They just sprinkle water on top of your head.
Just like us, I guess. Because my mama says we're Methodists and we just get sprinkled.
My daddy says he don't care as long as he ain't Catholic. Whatever that is.
I don't know either. But Alice, you's gonna be baptized in the river.
No, I ain't. They ain't taking me under no water, so talk about baptizing me.
Reverend Cleo says that's the only way to wash your sins away.
Then I stay full of sins then, because I ain't going under no water.
Well, you know where you gonna go, Alice? Well, I'm gonna tell you. First, you gonna be knocked in the head with a big old brimstone.
Say that, brother.
Then, the devil himself. I said, the devil himself gonna take you down to his house.
That's right. He gonna take you to his house.
And down there, where he keeps that big old fiery furnace.
Amen, bro Sam.
And that's why he can hide the clean. He's the unrest away, ain't he, man?
Have mercy, and us here too.
But you better be in that water, girl, and get your sins washed away, or else you're gonna be going straight.
Boy, watch your mouth. You hear me? Y'all not be picking on Alice like that. Now go on somewhere. Stop all this talking about fire and brimstone.
I ain't going to live with no devil, because I'm going to be free one day just as I please, and God ain't going to care if I went under that water or not. Is he, Lewis?
I don't know if or not God will care, but Alice, going in that water ain't so bad. I mean, I did it when I was about your age, and to tell you the truth, it felt real good. Uncle Isaac had me on one side and Reverend Cleo on the other. I was well protected. Shucks. When baptizing was over, I said, amen, amen, take me under again. Someday when I got baptized, well, they was singing and praying over me. I ain't never had that much attention before. They had a whole feast just for me. Called it my eternal life on earth meal. Yeah. They had all my favorite foods too. Mouth waters right now just thinking about that meal. Well, it was fried chicken, pork chops, cornbread, gingerbread, ooh, some honey beets too. Ooh, some kind of day when I got baptized.
Really?
Yeah. And I know they're gonna do the same for you. Except maybe even more. You're so pretty and smart.
I gotta go, Louis.
Why you rushing off so fast?
I gotta go find Reverend Cleo on them so I can see how soon they baptizing me.
Well, well. Boy, seems you got so much time to be playing around with pickaninnies. Maybe you don't have enough to keep you busy.
Afternoon, young Master Wade, sir.
I hear tell my daddy's sending you off to Galveston. Sell some more of his cattle off for him.
That'd be right, sir.
Huh. You really think you're something, don't you, boy? My dad is always sending you off to take care of his business. Instead of me, his own son, he's sending you off to take care of his business. Well, you best remember, I'm gonna be in charge around here before it's too long. And we'll see who takes care of business then. So you enjoy it now while you can, because it won't be for too long. You hear me, nigga?
I can't stand this. I just can't stand it. Lord, why you put us in this condition? We sin against you, so forgive us then. I just want my freedom, Lord. I just want to be my own self. I don't even know who my mama was or what she got sold off to. No idea who my papa was. He'd tell he was a white man. If there's white blood in my veins, help me not hate them for what they do to us. I just want my freedom, Lord. Like them birds flying around in the sky. Lord, and only master of my life, I just want my freedom. Louis, my son, you are a special warrior, a chosen one. Your desire to be free will come soon. Perhaps not in the ways of the world, but a freedom to last throughout eternity.
Others on earth will grow stronger and become more faithful because of your unselfish spirit.
Others will be raised to change their evil ways because of the sacrifice of your pure heart.
Oh yeah, Ba Kofu. Oh yeah, well, I am not drunk, for I have had no whiskey today. I am not weak, for I have done no plowing. Surely I have been robbed of sound mind.
My son, you are of sound mind. Do not be fearful. It is an honorable journey to take. That sacrifice.
The time draws near when you must leave this earth. When that hour comes, do not be fearful. We have already been assigned to be your guides.
Emir Pedro, whether to one, say Pedro, Wawesu, Yakupon, Yayaku say Wasu.
Where do you come from? When do you speak of sacrifice?
You are full of vision. I represent the compassion of your mother, the privilege of your natural father, and the wisdom of your own being. She comes in the form of Ya Asantua, Queen Mother of the Asante Empire.
Her life will not end as quickly as yours, but hers will also be a sacrifice. Her destiny is to protect the golden stool. The stool is believed to contain the soul of her people and will hold them in unity.
She will be placed in exile by the British, courageously leading her Asante army into one of the most bloodiest of the Anglo-Asante wars.
She will be sentenced to die in 1923. Her legacy will be left as an example of bravery for centuries to come. Louis, as yours will be.
All of what is happening at this moment, you will not remember.
You will not remember.
You will not remember. Now go and comfort my son, knowing that God and the ancestors are with you. Now go and comfort my son, knowing that God and the ancestors are with you.
Ouch! You ain't gotta be so rough, Chloe. It's your own fault for playing around in them thickets down there. You're not supposed to be down there. And you two ain't no better. Ought to be ashamed of yourself. The three of y'all put together ain't got the sense of a... Ouch! Hold still.
How come Master Luke and Mrs. Susie don't get Cookieberry's cotton they had?
Yeah, Chloe. How come?
Maybe that's because by the time Selma gets him all caught up in his head, ain't no more to go around. Miss Susie, you the oldest. You should set an example. Now stay away from that swamp.
Wasn't my fault, Chloe. It was Sam's idiot. All Sam.
Wasn't all Sam's fault, Chloe. We wanted to go down there too.
Giant rattlesnakes hide down near that swamp. Just looking for little boys and girls to fill up their stomachs with.
I bet you my daddy ain't afraid of no rattlers. He says he can do anything faster than anybody around these parts. And that's how come he ain't never had no runaway slaves.
Hush up, Susie. Ain't no sense in talking about nobody running away.
Miss Susie, that's enough talking about shooting and runaways.
I'm not afraid of no rattlers. I don't care how big they is.
Sam ain't fearing nothing, are you, Sam?
He's scared of my daddy, ain't you, Sam? Everybody's scared of my daddy.
My daddy says your daddy's just...
It's not!
It's so!
Y'all, stop it right now.
Oh, let them fuss, Floyd. They do it all the time. And hurry up and get through with my head.
Boy, don't sassy your sister. She's telling you right. Stay away from that swamp.
Ouch, Louis.
Why, Louis? I didn't hear you come up.
That's because he's always moving around like a real haint or something.
Like a haint, do I? That's why I keep my ghostly eyes on you. Boo! One of old Mrs. Cats ran around in that swamp, got swallowed up whole by a big old rat that's been living in that swamp for ages. Same thing happened to one of old Master's hound dog last year. They say, every now and then, no matter if it be day or night, one of them rattlers come just creeping up out of the swamp area. Just wait for some live swallowed up and go you down. Boom! Got you again. This your day for meddling around or what?
Ouch.
Sorry if I scared you, Florence.
Oh, that's all right, Louis.
Oh, that's all right, Louis. Wants to be on Louis. Wants to be on Louis.
Hush your mouth, Samuel. As a matter of fact, you best get along before I tell Mama all about what you've been up to today.
Like trying to scare poor little Alice about going to the devil in the fiery furnace.
I didn't know you've been so busy today, Samuel. I think Mama ought to know just what you've been up to.
No, don't tell Mama.
Hey, Sam, wanna come help us feed the pigs?
I can't think of nothing I want to do better right now. Gotta go see after the pigs now. Chloe. Bye, Louis. Nice to see you.
Hold on a minute. Stay away from near that swamp, you hear me? And mind what she be telling you.
All right, I will.
It sure was a pretty day today.
Not as pretty as you is, Florence. I don't think nothing is as pretty as you is.
I'm sure you be telling a lot of girls that off in those places you be traveling for old Master Turner.
Nah, just you. Florence, I got you something when I was in Thailand last week. Hope you like it.
Why, this is beautiful. You always give me such nice things, Louis.
You deserve nice things. I mean, one day I hope that I can take you to a lot of nice places. Florence, as soon as we get free,
Louis, you always talking about freedom. Do you think we ever gonna get our freedom?
Of course I do. You gotta believe that, Florence. Can you keep a secret? Old Master Turner, he done promised me that when I turns 21, I can have my freedom. Next month, I'll be turning 21. Then he gonna pay me for my services. I'll be earning wages, Florence. I'm gonna feel as free as a bird. A big old eagle, as a matter of fact. That's just like I'm gonna feel like doing too, flying. You see that cliff up there? Sometimes I just go up there and sit and think about things. See the people, they working hard every day. Sun beating down on them. Just wonders to myself, how come this happened to us? We had our own crops, raised our own livestock and animals. We was free in Africa. It ain't right. The white people, they just come to our land and take us as their property.
No, Louis. It ain't right.
That's how I know we're gonna be free. Soon. And as soon as I get back, I'm coming to take you as my wife and make you free. I mean, if you have me. I guess I ain't saying this right. Florence? Would you mind jumping the broom and becoming my wife?
Do you really mean it? Oh, yes, Louis, yes.
Thank you, Florence. Thank you. I always feel like I should just protect you. Just take care of you. And that's a promise. I always do that for you. I ain't got no mama and papa to fuss over, so soon I just fuss over you and Sam and your mama too, because I'm buying all y'all's freedom. I love you, Florence.
I love you too, Louis.
Gotta take some cows to Galveston in the morning, but when I return as a free man. Oh, there's one other thing. Now we both have one for protection.
Well, Louis, this is so great. It feels so warm, like a beating heart around my neck or something.
It's because our hearts beat as one, Florence.
Oh, and before I forget, I made you something. Happy birthday, Louis. This is from something that my grandma was wearing when she got sold off to some people a long ways from here. It was my daddy's mama. My daddy gave it to my mama, and she gave it to me when I got old enough to ask questions about it. My daddy seems to think that the spirit of the ancestors live in each piece of thread. And I thought that you can use it to get the guidance from the ancestors, and it could help you think of me.
This be mighty special, Florence. It's beautiful, just like you. And it's soft, just like you. It's getting late. Guess I better get going. Think about me? I'll be thinking on you every day and night.
I will think about you, Louis. Day and night. I will.
I know you're not far away, so I won't be afraid. I know our love is here to stay, just like a road that spans across the sea. Love will be a bridge for you and me. I know love will be a bridge for you and me. I know you're not far away, so I won't be afraid. I know our love is here to stay, and just like a road that spans across the sea, love will be a bridge for you and me. I know love will be a bridge for you and me. I know love will be a bridge for you and me.
Well, well. Oh, little Chloe talking about marrying herself off. Now, my sister's not going to be too happy to hear about her little black play doll getting married.
Master Wade, you've been eavesdropping again?
Eavesdropping. Oh, girl, you had too many privileges around here. My sister done raised you like a white girl. She been teaching you how to read and write. Oh, you don't think I know what you was up to? All those times you was out playing schoolhouse, making mud pies, she was teaching you how to read and right. You may put on the slave talk when all the white folks are around, but I know better. You's a nigger, girl. Always was, always will be.
Master Wade, what's come over you? Let me go!
You ain't marrying nobody so long as I got anything to say about it. You understand me?
Wait, you out here, boy? Oh, there you are. Thought you might want to come in town with me for a while. Something important's come up. Pardon me? Did I interrupt something? What's wrong with you, boy? You look like some kind of lovesick puppy. Boy, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you had a thing for that guy. Shut up, Angus. I ain't got nothing for nobody. Could have fooled me. You know your daddy's got rules around here. Ain't no white folk to be touching any of his colors. Can't even beat him. You know, everyone around here always been saying your daddy's a little touched in the head.
Things will be different around here when I'm in charge. Yes, sir. Mighty different.
From what I hear, that might be real soon. Your daddy's hurt near death, ain't he?
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Well, you better talk about it. Word is he might be leaving his nigger boy Lewis in charge of most all his business affairs. Now that would be a sight. Picking a slave to run things right over your own son. Of course, seems to be doing that already.
You best shut up, Angus, and I mean right now.
All right. Need not get so touchy about it. There's something else I came here to tell you. That is if you haven't heard about it already.
What?
Word come from up north that Abe Lincoln's serious about freeing them colors. Can you beat that?
What you talking about, Angus?
I heard my daddy talking about it this morning. That Yankee's signing some kind of paper right now making it unlawful for white folks to own colors. He aims on setting them free.
Anybody else around here know about this?
Well, I don't rightly know. My daddy and a few others are having a meeting in town this afternoon at 4 o'clock. That's why I figured I'd come and get you. Thought you might want to come along.
Few folks around here know about this better. My daddy sure don't need to hear about this. He's too sick to handle these matters.
What about your mama and sister?
Oh, women folks too weak to be dealing with these matters. The fewer people around here who know about this, the better.
Well, I think that's a mighty smart idea, Wade. Looks like you ain't as dumb as some folks say you are. You didn't secret about what Abe Lincoln's doing. This is Texas, and we can do what we want to out here. Come on, let's get to that meeting, quick.
Chillin', where you at? Come on around here. Come on out here. Hurry. Come on. I'm gonna teach y'all that ham bone. And it goes like this. Ham bone, where you been? Round the world and back again. Come on now. Ham bone, have you heard?
Ham bone, have you heard?
Pop's gonna buy me a mockingbird.
Pop's gonna buy me a mockingbird.
If that mockingbird don't sing,
if that mockingbird don't sing,
Pop's gonna buy me a diamond ring.
Pop's gonna buy me a diamond ring.
Ham bone, where's your wife?
Ham bone, where's your wife?
In the kitchen cooking rice.
In the kitchen cooking rice.
Now ham bone,
ham bone,
ham bone,
ham bone,
ham bone, ham bone.
got it.
Come on, Chloe. Play the game with us.
Teach us to read it.
Come on, Chloe, tell us a story.
Y'all go and find Abby somewhere to play. Floyd don't feel so good right now. Come by here, Lord. When is you gonna come by here? Ain't nothing fair about being in slavery. People just property. Nothing more than animals. We don't own a thing. Not even our own children. Not even our own bodies. Sometimes it seems like even the innocence of a young child don't last for long. But we just keep on praying and holding on. We just keep on praying and holding on.
Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya. Somebody needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Somebody needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Somebody needs you, Lord. Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya.
Leroy!
Oh, on my back, on my knees, oh, Lord.
Oh, afternoon, Uncle Earl. You walking mighty gently today, as usual. Your arthritis must be acting up again,
Just you keep on poking fun at old Earl. If you smart enough to live half as long as this old man, which I doubt you'd be that smart, you're gonna be walking mighty gently too.
Well, it took you, sir, 3 days just to polish the silverware. I could have done that in 2 hours. You're getting old, Uncle Earl. You're just getting old, getting old.
I don't know who you think you is. You ain't gonna be young all your days. You wait and see. Now get on with the business to clean up the mess that the President Lincoln done made. Go on, get it, go on.
All these papers all over the place. What in the world?
Yeah, I heard him up every night this week working on some kind of speech again. Just to talking to himself? Sound like he was talking to 20 folks.
20 folks. Is that right?
Wasn't nobody up in here. Oh man.
Well, he sure must have been working on something mighty important then.
He must have been. Uncle Earl! Uncle Earl! Quit yelling in my ear, youngin'! I'm taking from arthritis. I ain't gonna death.
Earl, President Lincoln done wrote something mighty important this time.
Is you lost your mind yourself? Just because you done learned how to read don't mean you can go around reading the president's papers. Now put that down and get back to the business of cleaning up this mess.
Listen.
Get to work.
Uncle Earl, listen, it's all written down right here. Okay, here we go. I, Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States and Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy thereof.
I knows he be the President-in-Chief. I knows that already.
Listen, listen. Do hereby proclaim and declare that it is my purpose up on the next meeting of Congress to again recommend the immediate or gradual abolition of slavery.
That mean? The immediate or gradual abolition of slavery. What that mean?
I think he ain't gonna set black folks free. And probably pretty soon.
Oh, Lord. What else he done write on that paper?
Well, I thought you didn't want me reading.
I's your elder. What else he done write?
It is my purpose to up on the next meeting of Congress to again recommend the immediate or gradual abolition of slavery of the states in rebellion against the Union on the first day of January in the year of our Lord, 1863.
That'd be right around now, all right?
That's next year. All persons held as slaves within any state or any designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States shall be henceforth and forever.
What it say? What it say?
Free.
Free. Did you say free? Did you say free?
That's what it say right here. He ain't gonna set black folk free.
No wonder he been so upset. That man done lost his mind for sure.
I don't know if he done lost his mind, but I sure is happy.
It's here called for a celebration. Yeah, she'll be coming and riding and she'll be coming. Oh, come back.
Y'all ready?
Eyes eye.
Have a seat, Uncle Earl. Take it easy. How about a cup of tea, son?
Why, yes, soon to be free, sir. And please sit down and join soon to be free me.
Well, I think I will.
A toast to freedom.
My brothers and sisters, there's nothing greater than to cherish and honor the memory of a great public man long after he's passed into the shadows to the silent continent of eternity. Well, I'm afraid I must tell you that in the fullest sense of the word, Abraham Lincoln was never our man, nor was he our model. As so far as black people are concerned, the leaders of the so-called Republic Party have always done right by choice and wrong by necessity. But in Lincoln's case, at least he did something. This weighed heavily on his mind. He once said to me, the fiery trials through which we travel, which we pass, shall light us down in honor or dishonor to our latest generation. Well, I guess that would include those of you in the audience and your children and their children who must be taught an accurate account of their history. They must establish a burning desire to learn and soak up all the knowledge the thirsty minds can hold. They must become educated. They must become educated.
Jalia Alia Ka.
Jalia Alia Ka.
Jalia Da.
Jalia Da.
Jalia Alia Ka.
Jalia Alia Ka.
Jalia Da.
Jalia Da.
Now repeat after me. For God so loved the world.
For God so loved the world.
That he gave.
That he gave.
That he gave.
No, not that. Try and say that.
It's hard for me to say that like you, Chloe.
Here, just look and see how it's written.
Chloe, what are you doing teaching these children to read and in broad daylight? And Abby, you should know better. You're old enough.
But if we could sing all day for our masters, like we ought to be able to read and write.
Well, we ain't free, so we can't. Now, don't you sassy me, girl. Now, take these children, go on somewhere and play. Go on now, get! Girl, Master will go back on his word and whip you for sure for this. Or worse yet, sell you off somewhere. And I just couldn't stand that.
Mom, don't fret so much. Besides, I think he already knows. Nobody's gonna separate the rest of us. We all gonna be free one day.
One day. Maybe one day. You know, you was just a little thing and Sam was still in my belly when old Master's evil brother came up talking about he lost your papa in a gambling game to some slick white man in New Orleans. Master was so mad he almost killed his own brother, but said they had to pay up on account of honor or something. They took your daddy all the way away to a place called England somewhere, and he never ever let his brother set foot on this land again. That didn't bring my Joseph back.
Mama, tell me about Papa. I like to keep him written in my mind.
Oh, your daddy was a fine-looking man. He was gentle and kind. Kind of puts me in the mind of that young Lewis. I see the way y'all be looking at each other when you think ain't nobody looking. Lewis is a fine young man, Chloe.
Ah, Mama, just keep telling me about Papa.
I can still see his face. He had these pearly white teeth. Them African teeth, I always used to say. Ooh, and they had big old strong arms, muscles like cannonballs. And he was tall, ooh, just as tall as the sky. I fell in love with him the very first time I saw him. I was sold to this plantation when I was 15. Your papa was 19. He said the first time he saw me, he ran over to old Master and asked for permission to marry me right then and there. said that I reminded him of Africa. Now, I told you, your daddy was born in Africa. Him and his mama got caught up by some white folks and brought up over here. And she was sold to someplace in Georgia, and he was brought here in Texas. He said in Africa, all the pretty women would flirt when it came to courting time. Said I was acting like him, wasn't paying him no mind since I had so many beaux on the plantation.
Did you, Mama, have so many other beaux on the plantation?
Well, I might have turned a head or two in my time. But nothing like your daddy was telling me about your grandmama. Now, when your grandpapa came a-courting, your grandmother was said to have a figure that was so fine that it brought men folk from all over Africa. And every time she went to strut, they went to follow her.
full of dreams, love, and a sense of freedom. His heart was like a volcano rushing over with joy.
President Lincoln, he done freed us all. We's all free. I can finally marry Florence as soon as I get home. We can have children. Yeah, lots of children. We can buy a place. We can buy a home. Nice home where I can see the land and all the beautiful birds.
Her eyes. He thought of her sparkling bright eyes and her pretty smile. He took out the kente cloth, held it to his heart, and rubbed it against his cheek. So loud was his heart beating with joy that he didn't even hear or see the slave patrollers coming, or paddy rollers as they were called, until they had stopped. They wanted to lynch him then and there, right on that dusty road. Hung him by the neck until he died. To make mockery of him even further, they cut out his tongue. It was all about somebody's idea of what freedom meant, about privileges and about fears. Freedom is a spiritual situation. African people might have been chained and bound in shackles for almost 300 years, but some understood the meaning of true freedom. He knew. Death could not kill his mission. He was destined to deliver a message. He heard the moans and cries of his enslaved people praying, Kumbayah, my Lord, Kumbayah. Oh Lord, come by here. He was given divine permission to make his way back to Texas and make a way for his people to become free. Now he was able to fly with the compassion of a dove, the wisdom of a raven, and the strength of an eagle. The time had come for his people to be set free, and this time, no man could hinder him.
Suddenly didn't feel right about keeping slaves on their property, because they thought it was bringing on nothing but bad luck. Some white folks even moved off their own land. Child for fear that black folks was going to revolt and kill them in the middle of the night. There was also sure a lot of talk about birds in strange places. Sometimes there'd be a bird up in the sky and it was not even flying. It was just kind of perched up there in the clouds like a statue or something.
Some people say they often see a big eagle flying across the sky, and he perched himself right on the peak of that cliff. And when he stretched his wings, they stretch over a mile wide.
Oh wow, you ever seen him?
No, I'm just telling what they say.
One day, Well, Sammy was down in those thickets where it wasn't supposed to be. I heard they say there was a 20-foot snake wrapped that boy up, about to swallow him whole.
They say that eagle swooped down, grabbed that snake in his claws, tossed him up in the air, sliced him up like mincemeat. Saved that silly little boy.
I bet he learned his lesson that day, didn't he?
He sure did, girl. He never did go down in those thickets again.
Then there was my cousin Chloe. One day she was just gathering up eggs and the old master snuck up on her.
And the thunder began to crack. The lightning began to flash. The wind picked up Master Wade and threw him into the river.
Guess I must have washed his sense away then, because he never went near Chloe again.
When Chloe was walking home, she noticed a bird was flying over her head. When she slowed down, it slowed down. When she sped up, it moved faster. That's when she noticed it was following her. And then it dropped something from its claws.
She watched as the bright-colored kente cloth landed by her feet, recognizing it. She carefully picked it up and held it close to her heart. Then she rubbed it against her cheek. The eagle perched itself on the claw and what happened to
Chloe? What happened to Chloe?
It's not the same like you being here with us. Here with me. And what about freedom? Seems like we always gonna be slaves. Is this what you're trying to tell me? That freedom will come to us all one day? Thank you, Louis. Thank you.
Citizens across the state of Texas, I, General Gordon Granger, am appalled over the rumors of the happenings here. It is June 19, 1865. It's been over 2 years
since our president, Abraham Lincoln, signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing all coloreds in this country, relieving them of slave status. You have purposely rebelled against the authority of the United States. For this, you will have to be judged by God accordingly. Beginning this very day, all slaves are to be set free. You are also to give them accommodations while they transition themselves. If they choose to remain on your property as workers, you are to compensate them for their labor. Take heed. Any further importation, selling, beating, or killing of coloreds is illegal. Those who continue to do so will be judged in the court of law, and if convicted, will face a sentence of death. You can take my word for it.
What General Gordon Granger neglected to tell the good folks is that he had no choice but to make this trip to Texas and other areas that still held Negroes in captivity. You see, he was headed north to give report on the warfare when, out of nowhere, he received orders to turn around and make his way to Texas. Well, you can figure that one out for yourselves. After General Gordon Granger spoke that day, word did get round to all who needed to hear the news about freedom. Over 250,000 black people who were still held in bondage were free. For them, humiliation had been internalized by hope, a wretched situation endured by faith. Men, women, and children, although separated and treated like animals, survived gallantly like warriors, kings, and queens.
In lieu of celebrating July 4th as a day of independence, Negroes in Texas began to celebrate June 19th as their day of emancipation in 1865.
It would take a while before a bill was adopted and passed by the United States Senate, declaring June 19th as Juneteenth Independence Day. Actually, it was 132 years later in 1997.
Longitude is a celebration that was not acquired overnight. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is still being rejected by some states.
But still, black people continue to press onward in resurgence of black consciousness and pride that gives Juneteenth the visibility it deserves.
If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
In over 200 cities, Juneteenth has now become a celebration of African American history, served on a platter of down-home heritage which traces its roots back to the motherland of Africa.
During the last week of July each year, Ghana, West Africa commemorates its Day of Emancipation from the British colonies in 1957 in the same spirit as African Americans celebrate Juneteenth.
In the state of Minnesota, on March 27, 1996, the governor enacted into law a bill that stated,
June 19th, designated Juneteenth in recognition of the historical pronouncement, June 19th, 1865, when the Emancipation Proclamation was said to have been the first publicly read in Texas.
The governor may encourage the observance of Juneteenth, and public schools may also offer programs in its occasion.
We were taken from our fields.
Yes.
From our homes.
Yes.
From our thrones.
Yes.
From our families.
Yes.
For once we were all free.
Yes.
We suffered.
Yes.
We toiled.
Yes.
We gave birth.
Yes.
We survived.
Yes.
Because we were always free.
Yes. Power conceives nothing without demand. It never has, and it never will.
He saw a man with his dreams with wings white as snow.
Yet his body was black. He had a gown that draped to the ground where 2 children stood right next to his big, protective, elegant wings.
Now they say old master thought he had died and gone to heaven. Met St. Peter too, until he woke up the next morning.
That's when he realized he must have been dreaming. He felt better in over 20 years. So much better that he must have been spared to do better by the black folks. So he gave each family he had owned their own plot of land with a deed.
As for young Master Wade, well, they say ever since that day he came up out of the water, he'd been traveling around, preaching the gospel, and telling others they best repent, because there's nothing swifter than the wrath of God.
Just about the time when I thought I was lost,
My journey shook and my chains fell off.
I said just about the time I thought I was lost.
My journey shook and my chains fell off.
Jubilee done come. I stepped on a pen and the pen bent. And that's the way the story went. Woo.